Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Time to take that walk and go see what's in the fridge today. Hi everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. This is an interesting beer. This is done by the Brewing Company and they're out of Philadelphia. This is General Washington's Tavern Porter. It says Ales of the Revolution here. It says it's an authentic recipe here on the label. I'm not going to read what's on the bottle. I'm going to read the commercial description though here. It says, Yards has recreated General Washington's Tavern Porter, a dark beer brewed with molasses. General George Washington originally created this porter to satisfy the thirst of his field officers. Washington's fondness for colonial Philadelphia-style porter is reflected in this historic recipe. So this beer recipe has been around for a while, a couple hundred years. Don't know if it's exactly the same beer that they were drinking then because of the hops that are available now. But it is an English style porter from what I have read. It says porter here on Rate Beer. Let's go over and see the food pairings. The food pairings for this particular beer. The cuisine is barbecue and Latin American. Cheeses are earthy Camembert Fontina, and since it is a porter, it goes well with your chocolate dishes. And the meat is beef, shellfish, smoked meat, and grilled meat. So just about anything, all your stronger dishes, anything off the grill will go with this. Glassware is a pint, becker, the Nonic, the tumbler, the mug, or the Seidel, or the Stein. On the porters and the stouts, I like to use the double glass because this type of glass with the tulip shape at the top enhances the aromas just a little bit. The beer, it says not recommended for extended cellar range, but this is a fairly large beer coming in at 7%. So unless this is a hop forward porter, which I don't think it is, this beer should keep for several years. And I didn't notice any dating on it, but it's really hard to tell if they've written in. I see something written in black writing, but I cannot read it. Once we get the beer out of the bottle, I'll double check that when we come back for the final chug and see if it's a code or a legible date that we can actually understand. I don't think there's anything else we need to talk about on this particular beer. So without further ado, let's get the cap off of this one. Dave sent me this one on the last beer mail package. Dave, thanks again, sir, for sending these beers down to me. I do appreciate it. I have had several of the Yards beers, I think, when I first started doing the beer reviews, and none of them really seem to be outstanding or anything super interesting. Hopefully this will change my mind. 7%. Let's go down the center here. Alright, very nice label. Got General George Washington right on the front of it, so hopefully they've found a really nice recipe to do, and this is supposed to be an authentic recipe, so this should be pretty close to what they were drinking. Like I said, I'm not sure about the hops that they used in, but over to the light, it is a rich, dark beer with a slightly red ruby tint coming through the glass. And I can see the bubble going through it, so I'm pretty sure it's a filtered beer with the light being able to be seen through it. And this is when I look at a porter and it's a rich, dark color, but I can still see light through it. That is my idea of what the traditional porter was. It wasn't a thick black where you could not see any light through it. But at 7%, that's about, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 points bigger than what the original porters were done over in England. They were around between 3 and 4%, something you could have at lunchtime and go back to work. And back then there wasn't such thing as sodas and all that kind of stuff, so most everybody drank beer. I mean, even at lunchtime and dinner, but they weren't big beers like that they are now. I mean, we're just carried away. It's got to be 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15, 25%. I mean, like the utopias back there. We just get carried away. And unless it blows your hair back or your socks off, huge ABV or bitterness that makes your mouth pucker, we're not impressed. So it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, I enjoy some 5 and 6%ers just as much as I do the 8, 9, 10%ers. All right, guys. That's enough of me flapping my gums. It looks very good in the glass. I can see some red rubbiness through it and around the outside, so it is not pitch black. Let's get a nose on it. Smells very sweet. The molasses is coming through. I am getting some dark fruit in there, dates, raisins, figs. There is a slight hop presence, but it's not overwhelming. It's not outstanding hop. I mean, it's not in-my-face hops. It doesn't say what hops they use in this. I would guess it's probably some European hops, like a Saz or a Tetanang. I may be wrong there. They may be using some kind of American hops in this. Just a slight hint of either some pine. But the molasses and the coffee is the notes it's getting in the nose. A little dark fruit there too. Let's give it a taste. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Dave. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Oh yes. Very well made beer. The alcohol is not there at 7%. Very easy drinking for a 7%er. Coffee, bittersweet chocolate, dark fruit, and a nice hot presence, just enough to balance out the beer. Not too bitter. I don't have the IBUs listed here either. I don't think it's listed at either site. No, it's not. So, very pleasant, very, very nice beer. Nice lacing is leaving on the glass, and before I run away, let's see if we can figure out. I mean, it is so hard to see. Bottled. I cannot even make it out, it's so faint. Bottled 11, it looks like 11/1/13. So from what I can see, November 1st, 2013 is when it's bottled on. 7%er is not going to go bad. They need to put that in a lighter writing instead of that black. I mean, without the beer in it, I can barely read that on there. So almost impossible when the beer is in there to read that dating code on there. And you want to know that. You don't have to open up the beer and pour it out to see when it was put in the bottle. You want to know that before you buy the beer, not after you've got it in the glass, as far as I'm concerned. So let this warm up. It's probably going to change a little bit. Let the other have tasted it, and I'll come back and do the final chug. Stick around. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little left here. I've been sipping on this for quite a while. Fired the grill up and had some smoked, not on the grill, but we had some smoked mac and cheese leftovers from the other day when I had the smoker going. And we fixed some stuffed deer burgers, stuffed with onions and what did we put in? What did she put in there? She had onions and sharp cheddar cheese, and we grilled those and threw a slice of pepper jack on top of it, and then she has some hot dogs or franks with jalapenos in them, and she made some pork and beans with those and threw some onions in there, and it was really tasty, guys. I had this with the dinner, and it was awesome. So let's do the final chug on this one. Very delicious, very tasty beer. I'd have to say it was probably one of the better beers that I've had from Yards Brewing. So very tasty and nice. I'm getting chocolate, roasted malt, some dark fruit, some molasses, a little bit of piney hops in there. Delightful, very delicious. It does have a date on the bottle, even though it's almost impossible to see. It is impossible to see with the beer in it, and it's nearly impossible without the beer in it. Very light ink on their dating system there. But it's got the date on it, but you can't see it with the beer in the bottle. So they need to go to a yellow or a white ink like some of the other ones have done if they're going to put those dates on the bottles so we can see them. Doesn't do any good to put a date on it if nobody can read it or nobody can see it with the beer in there before you buy it. So, awesome beer. Very delicious. I enjoyed this one. Dave, thanks again for sending this one down to me. I did enjoy it with that wonderful dinner that we had a little while ago. So, very tasty. Guys, I'm gonna give this an 8, which is an A minus. Very tasty beer. I'm sure George Washington's officers enjoyed drinking a beer like this. Much better than the macro lagers. Of course, they weren't around then when he was around, but they pretty much taken over the scene from the 1950s on. Well, actually, probably from after the Prohibition on, by buying up the smaller breweries and putting out a cheaper quality beer. But the masses seem to like that because it's cheap. I mean, you can buy an 18-pack for just about what a 6-pack or a 12-pack costs of this good stuff. So, I'm not hacking those guys for drinking that beer. If you're after it to get shit-faced, that's the way to go, I guess. Those days of me are over. I like to drink something that's got a little more taste, and that's the way it is. So, guys, if you've had this one from Yards Brewing, George Washington's Tavern Porter, a 7%er. It was pretty damn tasty. I enjoyed it. Alright guys, I'm going to get out of here. If you've had this one, give me some comments back on this and hit that like button, rate, comment, subscribe, and let's check out and see what's in the fridge tomorrow. See you then. Before I run off, I might want to tell you what the other guys thought about this beer. What do you think about that? Let's go over to, we're going to try Beer Advocate. And Beer Advocate says it's 86, which is in a very good range. And Rate Beer says 85 overall and 78 in the style. Those numbers are just a tad lower than what I've given it, but I might be a little over generous giving that number. But it probably tasted. I enjoyed it with my meals. So if you've had it, let me know what you think of it. As always, guys, like I said, rate, comment, subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow.